Good morning. Welcome to Conservatively Speaking. I'm Joe Mangiacotti. Join us from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday morning on AM 830 WCRN and AM 730 WACE. A lot to talk about this morning. A lot going on in the news. First of all, I'm so sick of these warped boycotts, right? What do they think? They really think the left, the extreme left, the out of touch, the ridiculous left. They're calling for pitchforks outside of the homes of Trump donors. That's the equivalent of, my first right, my freedom of speech, but that's the equivalent of yelling fire in a crowded movie theater. You are inciting riot. You're asking people to show up with weapons in front of somebody's private home. And he wants this to happen out in the Hamptons, right? They say, oh, it's nice out there. I've been out there. There's no reason that should be nice out there. There's no reason that anybody should have that privacy, should have that right to be safe and secure in their own home. This is ridiculous. I'm sick of it. We've seen it with SoulCycle now going on because a passive investor in this company contributed to Donald Trump, but he also contributed to the guy calling or Queen, right? Castro's out there putting a list of all of the Trump donors, including donors who donated to himself, who donated to Castro himself. It's ridiculous. Putting out these homes, right? We have a mob showing up in front of Mitch McConnell's house, asking for his head on a spike, break his neck, right? So now, on top of all of this, Hollywood somehow thinks, hey, you know what's a great idea? Let's put out a movie about the elite kidnapping and then hunting down for sport conservatives, people who oppose our views, who don't have the same views, who aren't one of us. We're going to hunt them down and kill them. They think this is a good movie. How dare they talk about Donald Trump? He has never done anything close to any of this. It's absolutely ridiculous. And now, of course, we had the tragedies that went on in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio. Immediately, of course, the whole gun control and the issues. It's just, this is so off target. It has absolutely nothing to do with our right to carry a weapon. It has nothing to do with this, right? For instance, here's a story that you're not going to see in the mainstream media all that much. Guy in California goes on a stabbing spree, murders people within, I'm talking like a half hour, 4 different places. So this is ridiculous. It has nothing to do with the weapon. As you can see, it doesn't matter if it's a gun or a knife, a car, a hatchet, right? Our history, if you go look at, into old publication, old newspapers from the 1800s, you'll see it was commonplace for people to be macheted and hatcheted to death because that's what they had. We're talking about the problem here is the human involved, the lack of mental health awareness, lack of mental health help. It has to do with humans, not the gun. This is such a red herring when it comes to that argument. All right. Oh, that SoulCycle thing too. Even locally in Massachusetts now, the Holyoke mayor Alex Morse, he's calling for Representative Richard Nail to return donations from Stephen Ross, right? The billionaire who is throwing on this Hamptons, or actually already did it, Hamptons fundraiser for the president. People, his response, because he also, I think it's the Dolphins, he owns part of the Dolphins, and when criticism from one of the players came, I think he responded very accurately. And this is the response that it should be across the board to all of these people who are inciting violence, right, and hate because you don't agree with them politically. And that is these people like Ross are engaging in the political process the way it is meant to be engaged with. So there's a point, people. When you're out of logic and facts and points and you can't debate the opposition on the facts, like unemployment's the lowest ever been, the economy is doing great, right? Blacks, Latinos, women, best unemployment numbers ever, when we've got trade deals that are being renegotiated and becoming fair, and we're exporting energy, and our militaries, you can't argue any of these because you lose them on those points. So you do what your side does all the time. You resort to name-calling and even inciting violence. That's not how you engage in the political process in the appropriate way. It's you run fundraisers. You express your freedom of speech through donations and fundraising and holding signs at corners, not pitchforks in front of people's private residential homes. It's absolutely out of control. Crazy. All right, we'll also talk about a couple other things. Worcester had 2 bomb scare situations this past week as well. We've also got, remember, the convicted child rapist Wayne Chapman. Well, he's been found not guilty of new Lewis charges while in prison. So we'll talk about that. A lot to talk about today. Lines will be open and available at 508-871-7000. Of course, follow us on our social media platforms at Your Right Talk. That's how you reach the show. You can also text us during the show. That's right, we do have a text line open, and that text line is 617-297-8388. That's 617-297-8388. Text the show, and your message will come up in front of the screen on me. And if you can't text, you don't have that ability, if you just email textjoeontheradio@gmail.com, shows up on the same screen, so that's what you can do. All right, so I'll see you on the radio starting at 6 o'clock this morning on AM 830 WCRN and AM 730 WACE.